Okay, what are the key differences with these two pieces of kit? This is a focused shockwave device and true shockwave. So if you're going to offer a shockwave service, I think you should be having one of those. This is a radial pressure wave, often referred to as radial shockwave, but strictly speaking is a pressure wave, still incredibly therapeutic. And I love this device, but should we be calling it shockwave? Anyway, what's the difference apart from that? So on this device, it's measured in millijoules per millimeter squared in terms of the energy that it produces. And what you need to understand is the energy is produced from this flat end right there. So if you add on one of these standoffs, all you're doing is taking the energy production further away from the skin, therefore it is more superficial. So here I'd be treating exactly where my thumb is. If I put this on here, likely it is I'm treating out the back end of my hand. I might actually be missing the tissue largely. So shockwave therapy using a focus device, what the numbers that you say on here, so in this case it's 0.25 millijoules per millimeter squared, that is what's being directed to the tissues. The depth is just changed based upon how I put the end piece on. With a radial device, this is measured in bar pressure. This machine goes up to 5 bar pressure. Your machine may not get that high, depending upon which one you've got. But essentially, we've got lots of different tips, and the energy that leaves the end of whichever tip it is has a rapid half-life, and so you're losing energy as it enters into the skin. So if, for example, I've got 2.5 bar pressure on here, and I put it against my hand, by the time it reaches the back of my hand, I may be, no one really knows, but I may be as low as 1 bar pressure. So it rapidly loses its energy. This is very shallow, so very superficial, so it doesn't penetrate too deep into the skin. This can go really quite a long way into the tissues. This machine, radial device, we can cover, say, a full quadriceps muscle in a couple of thousand shocks. Maybe you might need to go up to 4,000 shocks on a bigger athlete, but you can cover that in a relatively small amount of time. Because of the slim distribution of this, you'd probably be an entire day trying to give the same level of treatment to a full quadricep muscle. So this is great for going deep. This is great for covering an area. So the way in which I like to use it is this. Imagine a dartboard and you've got your bullseye in the middle. This is the machine you use on the bullseye, which is where your pathology is. This machine you're going to use in all of the space around that. So all the surrounding tissues we're going to treat. If it's a mid-portion Achilles tendon, this is what we're using on that mid-portion. This is for the soleus, the gastroc, and the full length of that Achilles tendon. You might even go into the underside of the foot a little as well to be really comprehensive. If you're doing impingement of the shoulder, just the insertion here on the shoulder, let's say it's a supraspinatus, so you're going to be working just here with the focus device. Here, with this machine, I'd be doing the traps, I'd be doing the full deltoid, I may even be going into the pec minor at the upper edge there. So you cover the surrounding tissues with this, and you come into the pathology with this one. If you've only got this, then you need to spend about 40% of the whole treatment time in that area that you have the pathology. The rest of the time you're going around the area, so you're treating the outside of that dartboard. So some key differences. You can run a business with just one. I think the ultimate goal is to have both. And if you really, really want to achieve something, you would get the EMTT as well. But there are significant differences between those two pieces of kit, and people that talk about shockwave therapy that don't use it don't often know. And so you've got to look in the science and decide which machine has been used, if you can. A lot of scientific studies are pretty poor at putting down the equipment they use, and I would like everyone that does a study from this day forwards to write the manufacturer, write the actual machine, and really give us all of the detail. What hertz were being used, what bar pressure was being used, for how long and where. This is how we really develop the science of shockwave and pressure waves.